Ariel Helwani in Las Vegas for UFC 189 alongside Dennis Bermudez, who meets Jeremy Stephens this Saturday live on pay-per-view. Dennis, it's good to see you. It's been a while. We haven't seen you since November. Why the long layoff?
I think it's a little bit. It was good for me. Get back to the drawing board and really develop my craft. And then on the same token, the UFC wasn't calling me, so
That was a huge fight for you, right? Back in November against Lamas. There was a lot at stake. Of course, it didn't go your way.
Right.
How devastating was it? How long did it take for you to get over it?
I mean, I went back to the locker room, started working out immediately. Just to get out a little. I was prepared for 15 minutes in that high altitude. And I only got to fight for 3 or 4. So I had to go get that out of me, and it stinks, man. I prepared for that fight, and it not going my way, it stinks, But we went back to the drawing board. We're back in the gym next week and getting better.
I was reading some interviews, some articles about you, and it seemed like this one, it obviously, it really stung, I should say. When you build up to that fight and there's a lot at stake and there's a big spotlight on you, I would imagine it would take some time to get over it mentally. Did you feel like you needed to take a bit of a break just to let that fight kind of go off into the rearview mirror?
Yeah, a little bit, because I had been on a tear, and I was pretty active prior to that, and each fight camp is definitely mentally taxing, the weight cut and dieting for, 2 to 3 months and the hard regimen of training, so sometimes, even if I feel perfect after a fight, I want a little bit of a break just for my brain, and then there was a lot going on, so it did feel good to be stress-free and just work on getting better.
Ultimately, what's your biggest takeaway from that fight?
Patience. I kind of went in that fight with more of the aspirations of a sprint. Let's get in there, get after it, get it over with, and I got 15 minutes, Torture that guy for 15 minutes. Don't, go in there and give him an easy way out real fast. Torture him. Get in there. Stay in there.
Did it make you feel a little bit better when you saw him lose to Chad Mendez?
Yes and no, because Chad's very good. But if he had beat Chad, I'd be like, well, all right, he's really good too, I mean, they're both talented guys. I got caught, and Lamas got caught, it happens.
There was a lot of talk going into that fight. You've been very quiet going into this one. Why the change?
So if I'm to come out here and try and make a lot of noise, it's not gonna be heard. It's a Conor show right now, and I get it, So we're gonna make a push after this fight.
Okay. And how do you feel, kind of playing second fiddle to the Conor show? I mean, this really is all about him. It's a huge gate. A lot of people coming from overseas, and I know you've had your history. All the featherweights have had history with him. How do you feel being in that spot?
It's fine. I'm just worried about my fight, and when the whole card is over, people are going to look back on UFC 189 and be like, wow, Bermudez and Stephens got after it. Bermudez is a beast.
How do you feel about him as a fighter? Do you feel like he's better at 145 than 155?
Jeremy Stephens?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think at 55 is – because I've seen him at weigh-ins for 45s previously to, seeing him tomorrow, and the dude just looks like he's going to die. Literally, laying down in the back, moaning, and it's just like, damn, dude, you're all right? And I've seen that, and I was like, if I ever fight him, I'll crush him. Right. Just because I think that takes a lot out of a guy, Whereas at 55, I wouldn't imagine that's that much of the case.
I guess the silver lining in the whole Conor thing is there's a lot of focus on the 145s, and you're that other big fight on this card as far as that division is concerned. So that's got to be good, right? I mean, everyone's talking about the featherweights right now, which hasn't really been the case in the past.
Right. So when my manager told me that I'm on this card and I'm the only other featherweight on the card, I was like, sick.
Yeah.
Awesome. It'll bring me back into title talk contention and that whole process,
Right back in the mix, as they say.
Exactly.
Who's your pick in the main event, by the way?
I got Mendez.
Why is that?
I've trained with him prior to living on Long Island and being in the UFC, and dude, he's very good, and he's evolved since then, and he's a wrestler. If he goes out there and does the same thing that I would plan to do to him, he definitely wins.
Final thing, this week some out of left field news came about. A teammate of yours, Costa Philippou, retired suddenly. What's up with that? Do you have any idea why he decided to retire?
Costas was that I knew of in the gym, just speaking with him, was applying for a job as a what is it called when you like work in the prisons? Not a
guard?
prison guard, not a prison guard. Sometimes you work with the kids, and they're like
I'm blanking as well. But I know what you're talking about. A correction officer?
yes, a corrections officer, and I would imagine he got the job,
Okay. And he's done.
and it makes sense.
Did
Yeah,
he say goodbye to you guys or anything?
he'll be in the gym. I don't think he'll still be in there training people, and he enjoys the sport. You know, he was a pro boxer before he was in the MMA. You know, so for him to leave it cold turkey, I think is not the case.
Good to see you again. It has been a while, as I said. Best of luck to you on Saturday. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.